Professor S Shivaprakash, who needs no introduction, definitely not in Bangalore at all, even otherwise throughout India. So poet, playwright, and translator, is one among the prominent literary figures in the country, recognized as a fresh voice in Kannada literature at a very young age. He eventually became an eminent bilingual poet and translator across multiple languages. As a renowned scholarly authority in Kannada, on Kannada Vachana literature, Sufism, Indian Bhakti traditions, and mystic symbolism, his literary prowess lies in reinventing the aesthetic elements in Indian mysticism. So he has received several accolades, including Sahitya Academy Award. For long, he worked as a professor at the School of Arts and Aesthetics at GNU. He was also the director of Tagore Center at Berlin, run by ICCR. And he has 7 anthologies of poems, 12 plays, and several other books to his credit. And of course, we are very happy one of his books got published with NUP as well. We have limited 40 minutes for the discussion on the book, and so we straight head to this. And I invite Professor Shivaprakash to share his first impressions of the book and on the multivalence of the epic itself. So if you can, I have heard you for minimum 40 minutes before, but today we have 10 minutes to begin with, and we come back for the second round. Yeah, thank you.
10 minutes is, in fact, too little time to speak about this voluminous work. And I'm very happy to be here because I was involved in the conception of the seminar. Professor Shettar discussed this with me on phone when I was in Delhi. And it's unfortunately he's not with us. So I remember him, and I miss him, all of us miss him. Because this whole thing was a brainchild of Shettar's scholarly imagination. A lot of people have great scholarship, but they don't have scholarly imagination. So when Professor Shettar writes history, we never know whether he's writing history or poetry. It's acceptable to historians. It also touches the hearts of non-scholarly poets. And first of all, I think I should spend at least 5 minutes to congratulate everybody involved. Editor, Paul Pandya, and Professor Shettar, I know, had great trust in our scholarship. She was as close to Professor Shettar as I am, and she's done a wonderful job. And it's a scholarly tour de force at the project. And I should also congratulate Professor Shettar Trust. Without their initiative, this seminar, it was a historic seminar, and this book, this monumental book, wouldn't have been there. So, Professor Marji, kudos to you. And then the publishers. I hope that they'll publish all my future books. They're so beautifully produced. It's a delight to hold in the hand. It's very heavy, but it's beautifully produced. And the cover page, the photographs, everything is so beautifully done. So it's meticulously edited and beautifully produced. And most of the, the papers presented in this book are, though they are, written with great academic vigor, they also read very well. Even a lay reader like me can read this book without having to take Sarija. There have been other books on the multiplicities and multivalences of the Ramayana. In the past, we have A.K. Ramanujan's, the historic book in the Ramayana, Paula Richmond's book, 3 Ramayanas, and my friend Molly Kaushal edited a volume of, papers presented with a historic seminar which was organized by the Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts, where the greatest international scholars participated. But what is special about this book is specific emphasis on the kinship between South Asia and Southeast Asia. There have been efforts in the past to connect the cultures of the northeastern part of India to Southeast Asia. For example, IGNCA organized a big seminar and festival of Northeast and Southeast, Northeast India and Southeast Asia connection. But this book specifically emphasizes the connection between South India and Southeast Asia. And this is something very special about this book. And this kind of emphasis, to the best of my knowledge, I have not found in the literature of this kind in the past. See, what is this Ramayana? Ambassador Rao, when she spoke, she talked about this, sanctity, sacred work. It's there, it's part of it. It's not entirely true. Because what is sacred to a Hindu in India is not sacred in the same sense to a Buddhist in Thailand or somebody in Cambodia. When the agency organized some 10 years ago, I think, a festival of Southeast Asian Ramayanas, we interviewed most of the artists. But I asked the Burmese Ramayana actor who played Sita, what do you find interesting in this? She said, we love the story. And how do you look upon Rama? We respect Rama as a great follower of Buddha's teachings. For them, Rama is a Buddhist, an ideal Buddhist. And not all of these versions of the Ramayana are imbued with religious fervor. Lots of playful Ramayanas. Rama's story began, I don't know how long ago, the 3rd century, is that right? If Rama has any history. It's not ended. Till today, Ramayanas are being rewritten. Yesterday, Prasannaji asked me to give a caption for this program. I could think of one line, I think in the composition of Purandara. Alli nodalu Rama, Illi nodalu Rama, Yellili nodalu Rama. Look here, Rama is there. Look there, Rama is there. Look wherever you find Rama. Rama in sculpture, Rama in poetry, Rama in theatre. There's a bewildering number of Rama theatres, even puppetry, and shadow play, and so many Ramlilas. It's not just Ramlila of Ramnagar. And Ramnagar is famous for two things: Ramlila and Lassi. Ramnagar Lassi is world famous. Okay? And there are so many Ramlilas in Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand, in the Madhubani Ramlila, which is a kind of indoor performance. And so many of them, this bewildering, mind-boggling. And in the Himalayas, there are so many Ramayanas. And they can begin anywhere and end anywhere. And hundreds of folk poems. For example, one of the contributors, my former colleague Rajarajan says, that one can reconstruct a Ramayana from the composition of Tamil Alva saints, and they try to reconstruct that on the basis of a Perumal Tirumoli by Kulashekara Alva, who was a great Sanskrit and Tamil poet, who was also a playwright. And many people say that Bhakti tradition was anti-Sanskrit. No, it was not, because Kulashekara Alva was a remarkable poet, both in Tamil and in Sanskrit. His Mukundamala, one of the greatest devotional works ever written in Indian literature. So, for example, we can reconstruct the Ramayana based on the composition of our saint poets. But here, uh, it's impossible for any book to do justice to the mind-boggling variety of Ramayanas. What's interesting about this book? Uh, of course, Parulji has already summarized different chapters of the book to you so beautifully and so succinctly. Uh, what's interesting about this book is like it connects several dots, one here in sculpture, one here in the literature, one there in Myanmar, one there in Cambodia. This makes very interesting connections. I remember in one of the passages in Tantraloka, Abhimanavgupta says, a good scholar should be like a frog jumping from point to point and trying to make connections. He says it should also be a lion in the dense forests of books, scholarship. I don't know, none of us, but what this book is making, it fulfills the first condition that Abhinav Gupta was on scholarship, to make interesting connections like a frog. So this book does that. And it's the way the book is organized, orchestrated, is not something which an art historian could do. Art historian can be boring. I know a lot of them in jail. I don't understand them, simply speaking. But Parulji is not only an artist, she's also an artist. She's a rare combination of artistic creativity and scholarly rigor. And this volume is an embodiment of this rare kind of.
Any particular section that you liked more than the other? There are 3 sections in the book. Anything that is?
No, all of them were learning experiences. And I've read it once, read many more times. It's not the kind of book one can read and put into a kind of pinhole. This kind of course. It's very interesting. And what's interesting is the variety of approaches in the book. It's not the treatment is not monotonous. Just as Ramayanas are reconstructed from different perspectives, the pieces in this book are written from different perspectives. So it's a kind of a polyphonic music. It has that kind of structure.